Hello, welcome back to another anime art video. My name is Dennis and I'm a beginner artist, and in today's video I'm going to be drawing the rhinoceros. I'm gonna tell you right now, I just realized it. Looking at my picture, I see that I did not actually draw uh, a, a portion of the rhinoceros. I drew most of it, but there's like I think one line that needs to be added in order for it to be completed, but I unfortunately did not do it. So I'm not going to do it right now, but at the end of the video, like after the entire drawing of the video, you'll see normally the way my videos are set up is I have the intro at the beginning, obviously, where I put the thumbnail up, or have I put the surface picture up of what I'm drawing. I do the talking, then the video goes through, right? You see the entire drawing at a speeded up rate, and then what happens is at the end is where I talk again. So from the time of where the recording stops being sped up to the outro is where I'm going to fix the line. You are actually going to see me fix the line. So there won't be no, like, sometimes I can end up like pausing something, right? Or ending something, and then I'll end up finishing something, and then when I turn the camera back on, like, you won't know that it was finished unless you like paid attention. But I'm letting you know now that I'm gonna add the line like on camera versus off camera, because I don't want it to be like I end the video with the line not being there, and then the next time I do the outro, the line's there all of a sudden. I'd rather do it on cam. But yeah, let's get into this.
I'm alone, I'm a broken home. I gave you all the bricks that I own and know. I'm letting go, I'm breaking these walls down, breaking these walls down. If you want adventure, then fly to home. But if you wanna travel, then go alone. Yeah, what's the point in us if I never know? Yeah, if you're gonna leave, I'ma let you go. I'm tired of the pain. Go away. I'm done with yesterday. Fada, fada. I fell where my demons dwell. My own little nightmare, I call it hell. Oh well, it's time to get back up. Climbing and climbing, I'm done with this ride, is what I tell myself, so I could feel something else. Yeah, I guess I had my bad days, but it doesn't mean I lost myself. Darling, where were you when my heart was on the ground? I thought time would prove that you would stick around. I guess time stood still, a king without his crown. Now I'm breaking and you're faking, girl. You never made a sound. Oh, wait, I'm tired a broken home. I gave you all the bricks that I own and know.
Alright, I am finished with this picture of the rhino. I did say at the beginning of the video that I was going to add a line, and this is indeed the line that I needed to add, because obviously without that line being there, the picture is incomplete. But I'm going to talk about something completely unrelated to this episode really quickly. I don't know how many people actually normally get to the end of these videos, but there's like a common thing like around, right, where if you watch anime, right, if you watch anime and an anime series is going on, a lot of times really diehard fans of an anime, of a series, will sometimes complain about how the anime adapts things, and they'll be like, oh, you need to read the manga, right? And then sometimes even then there's other diehard fans who, even if you do read the manga, those guys will say, oh, read the light novel, it's better, right? There's always somebody, whichever one, like whichever method you choose to indulge in the content, somebody always ends up saying you need to read the other version because, or you need to read, or you need to watch the other version because it's better, right? I was one who watched anime solely. I didn't read anime. I didn't read manga, and I didn't read manhwa and stuff like that. I didn't read none of that. So my mentality was of one who was like, if I want to watch the anime, I just want to watch the anime. I don't want to go and read something, right? Even though there's pictures, I don't really care for it. I'd rather have it in color. And then I ended up reading manhwas, right? Which are, I don't want to say vaguely different, but manhwas, they don't tend to have that many adaptations of manhwas out there, because anime is primarily Japanese, so manhwas and stuff like that, more Korean. It's a little bit different, right? I don't know if that's like definitively true, so I'm like just basing it off of like my own perception, right? So like for example, something like Solo Leveling, which has been insanely popular for like a long time, did not get announced for an anime because of some of the topics that the show would talk about, right? So, and even now that it has an adaptation coming out, they decided to change the main character's name and also change where he came from, which me personally, I don't have a big problem with that, because unless the character's name, not name, I'm like, they don't have to change the name. They choose to change the name because they want to, because of, location. But if the character's location, where they live, is not a drastic factor for the story, then it doesn't really matter where the character comes from, in my opinion. And if you're going to be like, oh, well, you probably wouldn't say the same thing if they took a character that came from this ethnicity and changed it to another one. I think it it doesn't matter to an extent, right? Because a character can have a whole backstory about themselves, and hold on, a character can have a whole backstory about themselves, but if their backstory is not directly exclusive to the area that they live in, it's complete, like it doesn't matter what the character is at that point, right? So Sun Jin Woo, right? His name, for his name's sake, it speaks volumes about the area that he's from, which is, I guess, why they want to change the name, right? Because they want to change it to, I forget what their, how they refer to characters, right? What I mean by that is, like, I think in Japanese culture, like, they have like things that you could put in a name to make it Japanese, same thing as with Korean. You can put something like Sunjin Woo. Like I'm pretty sure there's a port. I think Woo or Sun is Korean, right? So that being in the name is like a, you know, that that's where that person is from. I don't remember which one is which. I could be just like completely wrong, but like that name, yes, that's cool. But like his powers don't originate from the area that that he lives in. He literally goes all over the place to deal with issues. So it's not exclusive to the area, right? Like you can just change the, like you can, if same thing goes for if something was in Africa. If a main character was in Africa, right? Nothing about changing the location would do anything to the story. It's not like the gates and everything are going to change because you change the area that the gate appears in. It doesn't matter, right? So I don't have a problem with that. But I was reading manhwas, and a lot of things that I would read in the manhwas would be like, "Oh, you should read the light novel. The light novel is so much better." And I was like, I do definitely do not read that much. I don't like read at all, right? Like less than like the average because I have a, you know, a problem with reading. But I did end up finding a site, two sites in particular, that actually can read, like you can look up the light novel and it can read the light novel for you, which is always better for me because I can allow my imagination to run wild with what I'm hearing rather than me having to struggle through the reading and me not be able to envision it properly because I spent like so much longer trying to read a passage that I possibly could forget because I wasn't reading it effectively enough, right? Whereas having somebody read it and go through it fluently, my mind can retain the information and I can also picture things happening as they should, right? So I can understand why people would say, "Oh, you need to go from, you need to read it, you need to watch this anime. Oh, you need to read this manga. Oh, you need to read the light novel." I can see why people would say that because the amount of detail that they put in the light novel is significantly more than they would put in a manhwa or manga because they have to engage in all of the details for something to make your mind understand what they're talking about more or less. So the amount of detail that they put in those things is significantly more than what we end up getting by the time it gets to the anime. So that makes sense for why people would, you know, talk how they're talking, like, you know, they would say what they're saying about like, "Oh, I don't really like this anime, it was better in this version because they had this much more content." It makes sense. But yeah, sorry for rambling. That's it for this video. If you liked it, be sure to leave a like, subscribe. If you didn't, let me know what I can do with the comment sections to make it better for you to watch next time. The glove is off. Peace, love, thanks for watching.